from the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
For millions of Americans, the message is clear. Get ready and get out of the way. Hurricane Ida is barreling down on the Gulf Coast. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Amber Grigley. Roads and highways leading out of cities in New Orleans and are packed right now. People in Louisiana are taking the advice of officials who say they should evacuate to a safer area to ride out the storm, which is expected to make landfall sometime tomorrow afternoon. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with the latest.
Ida is rapidly intensifying as it closes in on the Louisiana coast, forecast to potentially become a Category 4 storm before making landfall.
The wind speed at landfall is projected to be sustained in the neighborhood of 140 miles per hour.
Mandatory evacuations in place for thousands outside the levee system in New Orleans. Other parts of the city under a voluntary evacuation. Roads out of the city jammed with traffic.
That traffic goes back for miles towards the city and for miles leaving here up towards Baton Rouge.
Airports also filled with people trying to leave ahead of the storm. Homes and businesses now boarded up. Many spent the day waiting in long lines for gas or sandbags.
We're just hoping that Monday morning comes, we're not calling insurance.
Hospitals in New Orleans are sheltering in place, stocking up with 10 days of supplies, including fuel for generators. But in Mississippi, patients are being moved further north, away from the coast.
We have worked with, we have requested, and we have received the support of the federal government to have additional assets to move patients.
Ida is set to make landfall 16 years to the day after Katrina.
Every storm is different. They all bring their own challenges. But I also want you to know that we're not the same state that we were 16 years ago.
Residents hope the post-Katrina system of levees, pumps, and seawalls will protect the city.
Well, this one's coming from the south, so it's going to be pushing water up the whole entire time. So the water is my biggest concern.
Ida is expected to make landfall sometime Sunday afternoon or evening. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, New Orleans.
The Indiana region of the American Red Cross is deploying volunteers and emergency response vehicles to assist those who will be impacted by the storm along the Gulf Coast. Donations are always welcome. You can just call 1-800-RED-CROSS for more information on how you can help. Well, Kyle, turning now to weather as we look into Ida. I've been a part of this for many, many years, living on the Gulf Coast, and this is a very scary moment for a lot of folks down there on the coast.
Yeah, because we are looking at a major hurricane that's going to be moving in and approaching Louisiana. You can see here on the satellite, and we can take that full for you. You can see all these bright colors, and really what you're looking at in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico there is this void of color. This is the center of Ida right now, but all of these clouds are wrapping pretty symmetrically around the storm, and that's a sign of a strengthening storm. Now, it is still a Category 2 storm right now. Max winds of 105 miles per hour, just 10 shy of being a major hurricane and a Category 3. You can see that it is expected to make landfall as we go into the day on Sunday, and then it will take a turn towards the northeast. We may get a little bit of moisture influx and some rain later on, but not a big deal for us. Here's a look at that tropical wind forecast as we go through the day tomorrow, and look at Grand Isle here. This model taking it in around there with 90-mile-per-hour winds for several hours tomorrow. We will talk about some increasing rain chances here at home and a break in that heat in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Kyle, for that weather update. The turmoil in Afghanistan hits close to home. A Marine from Longsport is among the 13 service members killed in that terror attack Thursday at the airport in Kabul, Afghanistan. WRTV's Nikita Mentry takes us to Case County tonight on the Hoosier Marine.
It's a loss the entire Logansport community feels. Flags here are flying at half-staff. In the town of nearly 18,000 are mourning the loss of one of their own, U.S. Marine Corporal Humberto Sanchez. Heartbroken, saddened, and devastated. 3 of dozens of words neighbors here shared with me after learning of the loss of Corporal Sanchez. He was based out of Camp Pendleton in California. The 1st Marine Division details various awards and decorations the 22-year-old earned. A statement out of Camp Pendleton notes the unit deployed in February, set to return come fall. Corporal Sanchez was helping with the evacuation of U.S. citizens, the embassy, and Afghans who worked alongside U.S. troops. From lawmakers to law enforcement to community members, messages of support for the Sanchez family are posted on social media. Logansport Mayor Chris Martin writing, quote, "Any plans he may have had for his post-military life were given in sacrifice due to the heart he exhibited in putting himself into harm's way to safeguard the lives of others." The 22-year-old was a graduate of Logansport High School, and social media posts the Logansport Community School Corporation shared their condolences. We found Sanchez in a 2017 Logansport yearbook. This is his senior photo. He was also a member of the varsity soccer team. Before the identities of the 13 service members were known on Friday, Governor Eric Holcomb spoke on the loss.
I'd ask every Hoosier to keep those who fell yesterday, the 13 Marines, and their families, and their thoughts and prayers.
In the time since, he's released this statement, sharing in part saying, "Few among us answer a call of duty so dangerous as Corporal Sanchez volunteered to do." One Warrior Foundation, an organization here in Cass County, told me the community will be holding a memorial event. More details are expected soon. In Logansport, Nikki Dementri, WRTV.
A veteran-owned business in Lebanon, Indiana is paying tribute to Sanchez and the other service members. The owners of Clues Brews say a customer brought 13 beers to be set at a reserved table to commemorate the 13 fallen soldiers. The owners are leaving that table as is for the time being. They haven't decided how long they would keep this display. The U.S. military carried out a targeted drone strike in retaliation for that deadly suicide bombing, which has since been claimed by the terror group ISIS-K. A U.S. defense official believes at least one of the targets of the U.S. drone attack had links to potential future attacks on the airport. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby says the targets were hit in a single strike, and they were all ISIS-K planners and facilitators. The retaliation comes just days ahead of the deadline to withdraw from the country.
We may be leaving Afghanistan, but we aren't quitting it. And I think if you listen closely to the president, he is explaining what the post-August 31st presence of the United States is. It is clearly going to be covert operations.
August 31st is the date set by President Biden to get American citizens and vulnerable Afghans out of the country. The Pentagon says any U.S. passport holder can get into the airport in Kabul, even though a U.S. embassy alert on Friday warned U.S. citizens at the airport gates to leave immediately due to security threats and avoid traveling to the airport. New at 11, Metro Police aren't sure if they're investigating a homicide or a suicide tonight. They responded to the 5200 block of West 52nd Street earlier today and found a man dead from a gunshot wound. But they weren't sure if someone shot the man or if he shot himself. At last check, they were questioning witnesses and looking for any possible video in that area. They say they may not know what happened until they get the autopsy results. A missing girl from the northern Indiana has been found safe after almost 4 months, but she's far from home. 14-year-old Aaliyah Ramirez disappeared while walking to her bus stop in Syracuse, Indiana on April 27th, while a statewide silver alert was issued for her on April 30th. At the time, police believed she was in danger. The silver alert was canceled Friday. Dispatchers in Kosciuszko County confirmed Aaliyah was located safely in Florida. No information about how she got to Florida or who she was located with has been released at this time. A press release with additional information is expected from the Syracuse Police Department in the coming days. We turn now to the pandemic and the growing crisis facing hospitals in some parts of the country. Tonight, the wave of young hospital patients struggling is at its highest point in the pandemic. On average, more than 300 children are landing in hospitals across the country every day.
We walk in the hospital and it feels like the world is on fire. Seeing younger patients fall this sick and die has been awful on all of us.
The U.S. is now averaging more than 900 deaths each day, up a staggering 173% in the last month. Loved ones of overdose victims are taking steps to erase the stigma attached to the way they died. A group called Overdose Awareness held a short walk today in McCourtsville to honor people lost to drug addiction. Many of the people participating today were there on behalf of someone they loved. They say they want others to look beyond the fact that they overdosed and instead remember that they were people with dreams and hopes, just like anyone else.
I lost my brother in 2017 to an overdose. He was 20. He'd only used for 6 months, and we lost him.
After the walk, participants were trained in the proper use of Narcan. The event also included a reading of the victims' names with a candle lighting ceremony, followed by a balloon release to cap it off. By the way, Overdose Awareness Day is this Tuesday, August 31st. An Eastside tradition shines a light on the importance of connecting with your community. Annual Feast of Lanterns just wrapped up not too long ago at Spades Park, and the highlight of the night was, of course, the lantern lighting ceremony. The Feast of Lanterns celebrates the Near East Side of Indianapolis and the artists and businesses that make unique contributions to the community. The Feast of Lanterns has been taking place on the Near East Side for almost 20 years now. Prior to that, it took place from about 1897 to the mid-1940s. Police body cameras are giving us an insight on what's happening on city streets. But what do 50 people, regular citizens, have to do with what you see? We'll take you in an in-depth look coming up next.
It's not perfect, right? But we are leading to be in the right direction.
Only on WRTV, regular citizens review Indianapolis police body-worn camera video before it's released to the public. And what this group does changes what you see. IMPD has released 8 videos of police-involved shootings, but before that happened, the videos are first reviewed by a citizens group. Since October, the group's input is credited for improving the content that is made public. Only on WRTV, WRTV's Rafael Sanchez explains what the group sees and what they get to demand.
Down! Down! He got a gun! He got a gun!
These are some of the high-profile exchanges between the public and police.
Drop the gun! Give back!
Each is different. Each encounter, recorded on an IMPD body-worn camera, provides insights not available until last fall.
As always, I appreciate so much the fact that you're willing to hop on these calls.
Now reviewed by Metro Police Chief Randall Taylor and a group of 50 community members. It's something he started. They meet online.
That we're being transparent as much as we can, especially in police action shootings.
On a set date, the group meets to see body-worn camera video of a police-involved shooting before it's released to the public.
Why do you need 50 people in to butt into your business?
Well, because I feel the community needs to be involved in the work that we do. They need to have, if nothing else, they need to know personally what we're doing.
The group is given limited details about the situation. After the presentation, they get to work.
I am assessing what is verbally said, what is not being said, the actions, the demeanor, the level of rudeness, the level of civility, and seeing that on both sides, you know, was this a good interaction between civilian and law enforcement?
People may ask for more videos from other officers to better understand what's happening.
He's walking towards us with a gun in his hand, slow traffic.
Or they can ask for the addition of written words on the video to make clear what the officer or suspect is saying. I joined the chief on the day the group was set to review video from May the 29th, police-involved shooting. In this situation, a man shot and injured a Metro police officer during a police chase. I met with 2 members of the group on Zoom before they watched that situation.
How are you challenging the city to do better based on the voices that you're bringing into that room?
Playing the devil's advocate a little bit and saying, hey, why did you not catch that other footage from the building across and incorporate it into this footage?
What are we getting as a final product that you think we would not get if you were not in the room?
I think I've seen law enforcement become more aware of the needs of the community.
So far, the department says the group's feedback has improved the quality of the videos posted on their YouTube channel. The videos not only show what was caught on camera, but can also help the department with the training of its officers if a trend emerges.
It's not perfect, right? But we're leading to be in the right direction. I wholeheartedly feel that with the body cameras in place, we are moving in the right direction. Maybe it wasn't always the officers that were in the wrong, right? And I'm not saying that to be negative. What this has actually done, I feel, has made it a little bit easier to understand what's happening on the other side.
Recordings in real time of real experiences unfolding on city streets. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
All police-involved shooting videos are first reviewed by IMPD's command staff. After the citizens group provides input, the video is released in a matter of days. For example, the latest video was reviewed by the public on a Thursday and was released on a Monday. Kyle?
All right, let's get you wrapped up here on your Saturday evening, get you ready for your Sunday. And as we check out radar here, you can see we had a couple of isolated downpours earlier this evening south of I-70. Of course, as those drifted to the north, they also faded away. Right now, still focusing in on those very warm temperatures. Lafayette still sitting at 80 degrees right now at 79 in Indianapolis, 73 for you in Columbus and Richmond at 78 degrees. Those temperatures not going to be all that cool as we head into tomorrow morning, but we're kind of used to it at this point. May see an upper 60 or 2 out there around Noblesville at 69 degrees, but lower 70s elsewhere. 71 in Danville and Lafayette, 72 Muncie, and you'll start off your Sunday at 71 in the Bloomington and Columbus areas. As we take you hour by hour throughout your Sunday here, you'll notice a couple of changes. One of those being the chance for a couple of showers as we go through the morning. I think for the most part, though, much of our Sunday is going to be dry here, and those temperatures, as a result of a little more cloud cover, might be held just a little below that 90-degree mark, but not by much here. It is still going to be a warm and muggy day. Your temperature is 76 degrees here at 9 a.m., 85 as we get to 1 o'clock, and about 87 at 3 o'clock or so. As we look at TrueCast here, you can see by mid-morning, quite a bit of sunshine out there. Again, maybe an isolated shower, not really picking up too much on that. And this is actually a brand new run of TrueCast that's just coming in. It did have a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity for tomorrow evening. Now it looks like it's kind of backing off on that a little bit. Might have to wait until overnight tomorrow night and then into Monday morning. It could be a little bit of a soggy start for us. We certainly could use any rainfall that will come our way. We still have this rainfall deficit. Indianapolis, more than an inch below average here for the month of August, more than 2 inches below average there in the Bloomington area. As we look over the next 7 days, now we mentioned earlier Ida. We're going to get some moisture that comes up from that system about Monday, Tuesday, but also as a cold front. That'll be really the main weather maker for us. But those two will kind of meet up, and you can see here where we're squeezing out some of these reds and oranges indicating 2 to possibly 4 inches of rain. But as we get a little closer to I-70, probably between about 1 inch and 2 inches of wet weather, and that's over the next several days here. High temperatures tomorrow, close to 90 degrees, 89 in Indy, 90 for you in Columbus. Still going to have those heat index values, though, in the middle 90s. Chance for rain Monday, Tuesday. That'll provide a pretty good soaking in most areas, and then much more comfortable air arrives as we dry things out. Wednesday, Thursday, highs around 80 with sunshine, a little warmer by next weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on the News at 11.
Welcome back. As the economy continues to navigate the pandemic, there's a group of people struggling to get back on track. America's older workforce, from age discrimination to forced early retirement. Experts say seniors are running into obstacles while they try to gain financial independence. Vanessa Mashanya shows us the help available for seniors.
There is this myth going around calling it the Great Retirement. And the reality is, for the most part, older people have been forced out of the workplace.
Janine Vanderberg is the director of a Colorado-based initiative called Changing the Narrative. It's a campaign against age discrimination, something she says has increased during the pandemic.
They were laid off. They were pushed out. They had their hours reduced. They had their salary reduced.
According to a recent study by the New School Retirement Equity Lab, the pandemic forced an additional 1.7 million Americans into retirement than expected, saying that due to health risks and disproportionate job loss, more older workers were pushed into early retirement.
One of the things that we know, and this is true in Colorado and across the country, is that age discrimination isn't treated as seriously as other forms of discrimination.
Vanderberg says age discrimination is hard to prove, but can be countered with proactive steps like getting rid of graduation dates on applications and putting money into retraining programs.
If we're going to have successful workplaces where younger people and older people work together in any kind of workplace and gain the benefits of each other's perspective and insights and knowledge, why don't we train them together?
We've seen the turning point of most people not having large pensions and retirements. That notion of one day it all stops becomes a bit of an exercise and scares folks.
But what about preparing for that unexpected early retirement? Scott Sparks, founder and CEO of Sparks Financial, affiliated with Northwest Mutual, says that the sooner you can establish a budget and then figure out ways to put money away that can supplement your income, the better.
And if we can help our clients compartmentalize the timeframes of when they're going to need and spend money, they become less emotional about their money. And we have a plan so that when we have market events, we can enter that in an opportunity mindset versus a scarce, fearful mindset.
Whether it's planning years ahead or reaching out for help in the moment, there are avenues of assistance if you find yourself in sudden retirement. Meanwhile, Vanderberg hopes more employers realize the benefits of having a more diverse age range in the workplace.
I think we can all sort of stop and think, become aware of ageism. And I like the concept of taking really small steps in our own lives to do something about it.
I'm Vanessa Mashanya reporting.
Well, the racing capital of the world became a two-wheel town today. If you were anywhere downtown, you saw plenty of scenes pretty much like this. Motorcycles everywhere. The annual Motorcycle on Meridian event came roaring back after being canceled last year, of course, due to the pandemic. Motorcyclists parked on the Circle, also south on Meridian and on Georgia Street. But even if people didn't have a bike to participate, hey, no problem. Spectators were encouraged to come down and check out the motorcycles and vendors. Kyle?
It draws quite the crowd and had a good night for some riding out there, and it continues to be a little muggy tonight, but overall not too bad. As we go into the next couple of days, some changes, increasing rain chances, especially as we get into Monday and Tuesday. And look at those temperatures Tuesday through Thursday. Nice break from the heat with highs around 80.
All right, looking nice, Kyle. Well, that does it for WRTV News at 11. Our next newscast is tomorrow at 6.